Alright, so welcome back to my channel, you guys. I want to go ahead and talk about foundation and why it separates. I've been having such an issue with this. I don't know what it is, but I can go ahead and do my makeup, but by the end of the day, it just looks so crazy. And I'm probably thinking, like, you know what? People probably think I don't know how to do my makeup because it just separates in my T-zone, on my nose, and on my chin, and it doesn't look good. So I went ahead and did some research, and I figured out why that happens. And I do know some people probably know what the reason is, but I want to go ahead and share with you guys what I found. So you want to stick around and see what this is, then go ahead and keep on watching. All right, so when it comes to foundation and primers, it is important to know what is water-based and what is silicone-based. And I never thought about it before. I never thought it was a big deal, but when it comes to your makeup, it is a very big deal because those two don't mix well together. Now, we all have our favorite primers, our favorite foundations, but you can't go ahead and use all of them together sometimes. So, for example, my favorite primer is a Kane & Austin Primer and Protect Mattifying Primer, and I went ahead and used this with all my foundations, not even looking at the ingredients, and now I know why sometimes it's separate. All right. Ooh, why did I make that sound? So the biggest thing that it comes down to is the ingredients. So when you go ahead and look at your foundation or primer, you can go ahead and see on the back certain words that tell you if it's silicone based. Now, going into the information that I found in this article, I'll go ahead and give them credit here. Now, silicone based products do have these long words on there, and some of them I can't say, to be honest with you, but they do have the words cone, methicone, silicate, or siloxane in them, and those are the words that tell you if they're silicone based or not. So with that being said, these are the certain words. I'm gonna go ahead and put them up here. Once you look at your foundation and primer, it will let you know right away that these are silicone based. So when you go ahead and look at the back of your foundation or primer, the first word is always gonna be aqua because water is what makes everything liquid. So that doesn't determine if it's, you know, a silicone or water based. Just letting you guys know because I thought that at first. But the next word on here on the Fenty Beauty by Rihanna foundation is the word dimethicone. So that means it's a silicone based product. And then when you keep going down, it has another dimethicone on there and whatnot. So I don't want to make it too complicated, but it does have the word cone, which is the base word for silicone. Now, I did go ahead and read on here. It says a water-based product may go ahead and contain some silicone in it, but it should be lower on the ingredient list. So it shouldn't be like the first few words. It should be on the very bottom. So that's how I know a lot of these products I do have are silicone based. And my NARS Sheer Glow foundation, another good foundation. This has cyclopentasiloxane. Can't say that word, but it does have that base word that you're looking for that says it's a silicone based product. And it also has some other long words on there, the methicone and whatnot. So y'all get the point. You go ahead, look at the back of your foundation or primer. The first few words should go ahead and tell you if it's silicone or water based. So to make it a little bit easier for you guys, I went ahead and looked up water based primers just to let you guys know what they are, because it does get a little bit, you know, tricky reading all the ingredients. Now, the first one I do have is a Becca Evermatte Poreless Prime and Perfector. That is a water based primer. That one I don't know the name of. The Laura Mercier foundation primer, that's another good one there. The Tarte Clean Slate Flawless. The Too Faced Hangover RX. This is a really good water-based primer. I really do love this, especially when my foundation is really matte. I like to go ahead and pair it with this primer right here. So the next one is a Jouer Cosmetics Anti-Aging Moisture Primer. I'm sure a lot of people have that. The Lorac I'm So Sensitive Soothing Face Primer. Smashbox Primer Water. I mean, it has the word water in there, so y'all get the point. Let's see. The MAC Prep and Prime. That's another good one on there. So those are all the popular ones I could find on there. And moving on to silicone, because I feel like there's more silicone-based primers than anything else out there. Now, the first one I do see is the Hourglass Veil Mineral Primer. That's a really good one, and I may go ahead and pick it up at the VIB sale. The Bare Minerals Prime Time Foundation Primer, Benefit Professional, which is like my favorite one. I do have it here actually, and the Kane & Austin. These are two silicone based primers. Now moving down, the Dr. Brandt Pores No More Primer, the Saint Laurent Touche Eclat Blur Primer. I know I butchered that so bad, but that's another good one I've heard about. On the Too Faced Primed and Poreless Primer, Smashbox Photo Finish Primer, Makeup Forever Primer. Y'all get the point. These are all different types of primers. Alright, so now I'm going to go ahead and move on to foundation. I really didn't look up a lot of silicone-based foundations because there's a lot on the market, but finding a very good water-based foundation, I want to go ahead and list some for you guys. So the first one is a Tarte Rainforest of the Sea. That's a very popular foundation, but I've never tried it. The Makeup Forever Water Blend Foundation, of course, that's a water-based foundation. Moving down, the Stila Aqua Glow. I feel like all the water foundations have the word aqua and water in it, so it kind of makes it easy for you guys. The NYX Total Control Foundation. This one I didn't know, and I used to go ahead and pair it all the time with the Kane and Austin, and those two just never mix correctly. And moving down on the list, I do have the MAC Studio Waterproof Foundation. The Aqua Foundation. This is the Kojen Dough Aqua Foundation. That one is really popular. I've never tried it, but it's very, very expensive. The L'Oreal True Match Foundation. I never knew that was water-based, and it makes sense because I used to struggle so much with that foundation, and it applied so well in the beginning, but towards the end of the day, it just looked a hot mess. So kind of makes sense now. The Cover FX Natural Finish Oil-Free Foundation and Bobbi Brown Skin Serum. What else on here? Milk Makeup and whatnot. So those are all the water-based foundation, and I'm pretty sure you guys can go ahead and look in stores and you'll find the word water, aqua, waterproof, and so on. Okay, so now that I listed all the water-based foundations, primers, and silicone-based primers and foundations, I want to go ahead and show you guys a little demo of me applying the Kane and Austin primer and the Benefit Professional on my face first. Then I go ahead and use the Estee Lauder foundation, and I want to just show you guys how everything mixes together and just looks really nicely. So we're gonna go ahead and move on to the demo. Alright, so going in with my Kane and Austin primer and my Benefit Professional, I'm first taking the Benefit Professional and pressing it into my skin. That we can go ahead and blur out all my pores, because in that area I do have a lot of pores and it just completely smooths everything out. So I do love this primer. I'm moving on to the Kane and Austin. I'm taking this all over my skin because it does have SPF in it, and also the way it blends into the skin is so nicely. It doesn't leave a white cast on my skin or anything like that. It just blends really well. And you guys know how much I feel about this primer. You guys know I love it so much, so I'm not gonna say too much about that. Now, moving on to my Estee Lauder foundation, I'm using the shade Amber Honey. I'm taking this all over my skin, and if you have oily skin, I highly recommend this foundation because I don't get oily throughout the day. It's just really beautiful on the skin. So I'm just dotting it all over first, and then I'm taking my Sonia Kashuk sponge and just blending it into my skin. And also, like I mentioned before, you guys can tell it has silicone in it in the foundation and the primer. And with both of them being silicone, it makes it easy for everything to just blend well together. You don't see any separation or anything like that. So if you haven't tried this combo out, I highly recommend it. And also, y'all can see my skin at the end. Everything looks really blended out. There's no separation anywhere, and I just really love it. Alright, so I do hope you guys learned a thing or two, and I do know some people out there probably already know about this trick, but for me, I really honestly didn't know, and I want to go ahead and share with you guys. And all the people I got my information from, I will link it down below because I gotta give credit where it's due. So I love you guys so much. Don't forget to like, subscribe on your way out, and I'll see you guys in my next one.